Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we uncover the hidden stories in your favorite company's financial filings. Today, we're diving into a document that might seem dry at first, but trust me, it has got some juicy details about a company's financial maneuvers. Get ready, because XMax Incorporated might be making a strategic move you'll want to know about before we break down this filing. If you love getting these insights straight from the source and want to understand the real story behind corporate announcements, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to chat about these filings and connect with other finance enthusiasts, we've got a Discord community linked in the description below, so come join us. Alright, so what we have here is a Form 8K filing from XMax Incorporated. Think of an 8K as a company's way of quickly telling the public about important events that happen between their regular financial reports. It's like a news flash. This particular filing is about a significant agreement the company has entered into. The big news here is that on the 28th of January 2026, XMax Incorporated, which we'll call the company, stepped into the role of a lender. They've entered into a loan agreement with a company called Joycheer Trade Limited, which is based in Hong Kong. So XMax is not borrowing money, they are actually lending it out. And how much are we talking about? The company agreed to provide Joycheer Trade Limited with a loan of $5.3 million. That is a pretty substantial amount, so it definitely qualifies as a material definitive agreement that they need to report immediately. Now, let's look at the terms of this loan. The interest rate is set at 6% per year. That's a decent rate, not sky high, but also not peanuts. More importantly, this loan has a 1-year term. This means XMax is expecting their money back, principal plus interest, about a year from when they actually give the money to Joycheer Trade Limited. This isn't a long-term investment. It is more like a short-term financial arrangement. As you'd expect with any good loan agreement, there are standard clauses in place. These include representations and warranties, which are basically promises from the borrower that certain facts are true. There are also events of default, which outline what happens if the borrower doesn't hold up their end of the deal. These are all pretty standard but crucial for protecting the lender, which in this case is XMax. For anyone who wants to get into the nitty-gritty legal details, the full loan agreement is filed as Exhibit 10.1. This is where you'd find all the specific legal language, but for our purposes today, the core idea is that XMax is lending $5.3 million to Joycheer Trade Limited for 1 year at 6% interest. Now, why is XMax doing this? The filing itself doesn't explicitly state the strategic reason for making this loan. However, we can infer a few things. Companies sometimes provide loans to strategic partners, key suppliers, or even customers to strengthen relationships, secure future business, or facilitate a particular project. It could also be a way for XMax to generate some interest income on cash it might have available. Given that Joycheer Trade Limited is based in Hong Kong, it might suggest an international business relationship or expansion. Without more context from XMax itself, it's hard to pinpoint the exact motive, but it's definitely an active financial decision rather than just sitting on cash. Looking at XMax Incorporated's public trading information, their common stock is traded on the Nasdaq stock market under the ticker symbol XWIN. This tells us they are a publicly traded company, which makes these kinds of filings mandatory for transparency. The fact that they have common stock with a par value of a tiny fraction of a cent means they have a large number of shares potentially outstanding, which is typical for many businesses. The signatures at the end of the document, including that of Xiaohua Lu, the Chief Executive Officer, confirm that the company's leadership is aware of and has authorized this filing. This isn't some minor administrative detail that slipped through. It is an official communication signed off by the top brass. The date of the signature being the 3rd of February 2026, a few days after the loan agreement itself, is normal for processing and filing these reports. So what does this all mean for XMax Incorporated? On the surface, it is an outgoing loan, which means cash is leaving the company's immediate control. However, it is a relatively short term loan with interest. This could be a calculated move to earn a return on their capital, potentially strengthen a business relationship, or perhaps facilitate a joint venture or supply chain agreement. The key risk here would be the borrower's ability to repay the loan. The standard clauses in the agreement are designed to mitigate this risk, but it is always a factor with any lending. Overall, XMax Incorporated appears to be actively managing its finances, not just passively holding cash. This loan to Joycheer Trade Limited signifies a proactive approach to its capital. It's a demonstration of financial capability and potentially a strategic play to foster growth or secure market positions. The 6% interest is a reasonable return for a 1-year loan, and the fact that it is a defined term suggests XMax expects this capital to be returned relatively soon, allowing them to redeploy it elsewhere. We'll be keeping an eye on XMax to see if this loan leads to further developments, or if Joycheer Trade Limited successfully repays the amount as planned, which would be a positive indicator for XMax lending judgment. Alright, that is our breakdown of XMax Incorporated's latest filing. What is your take on this loan agreement and what it might signal for the company's future direction? Are they being smart with their cash, or is this a calculated risk? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this analysis valuable, please hit that like button, it really helps us out. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss our future deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to join our Discord community, linked in the description, to continue the conversation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.